up in San Francisco. I was living in Los Angeles when he was, let's see, this gets me so mixed up because I'm a year older than him. I'm starting over. Hang in there. So my parents got transferred up to San Francisco. It was 1965. I was a senior and he was a junior. And one night during my senior year and his junior year, there was a party and I went to the party and he was sitting in a chair singing a song. And I invited myself to walk up there and sing with him. He did not ask me. I just went up there and burst into song. It was cool. Song was over, I walked away, and I never saw him again for 2 years. And 2 years later, I get a phone call from a guy with a very nice voice who said, "My name is Bob, and I would like to know if you would like to join our band." I said, "Well, Bob, what kind of a band is it?" And he said, "Well, it's a rock and roll band. It's a real good rock and roll band. And may I remind you that we live in San Francisco, where all the artists and musicians in the world that are totally cool live at this particular time in history, which was the mecca of music at that point. San Francisco, Haight-Ashbury, all the big San Francisco bands, and we were right in the middle of it." I'm like, "Okay, I'm in." So the next thing I know, 2 days later, I'm going to practice at Lindsay's house, and he lives right down the street from me, unbeknownst to me. And so we practice 4 times a week, and we play 2 times a week, and we're really good. And we start opening for really big bands. And so we opened for Jimi Hendrix, 75,000 people. We opened for Santana right before the Woodstock movie came out in Carmel, Monterey. We opened for Janis Joplin several times. Stanford Frosh Amphitheater. We opened for Creedence Clearwater in Lodi, and got stuck in Lodi with Creedence Clearwater because our car broke down. That is only 4 of the bands that we opened for. We pretty much opened for all of them. So anyway, while this was happening, I heard a rumor that there was this great store in downtown San Francisco where all the famous rock and roll women went and bought their clothes. And we made really good money. So I said, well, I'm just gonna save my money for a couple months, and then I'm gonna go up there in my candy apple red 5-speed Corvair Monza convertible that my dad bought for me. And I'm gonna find that store, and I'm gonna buy some clothes. Well, I get up to the store, and I walk in, and I know, without a shadow of a doubt, that there's nothing in there I can afford, because it's a really beautiful small store, and it has gorgeous things hanging everywhere, and it has a beautiful hand-painted floor. And I'm thinking, well, it was a long drive up here, but I enjoyed it, and I'm here now. And what happened was that I was standing, I thought, right where Janis Joplin stood, or where Grace Slick stood, or where many of the famous rock and roll women of that era stood. So, okay, it was worth the trip. There I was going, something's gonna happen. I'm having a premonition. And I think what I saw, because I felt so strongly about it, was right there in this store called the Velvet Underground, that something was coming, and it was big. And it did. And here we are today. And the reason I'm telling you this story is because we all have our Velvet Underground moments. And we all have a passion and a love for something that we want to do, and lots of times we don't do it because people get in our way and say, "Oh, you can't have that. You can't do that. It's not the right thing for you." And I'm here to tell you that whatever you think is the right thing for you, no matter how old you are or how young you are, is the right thing for you. You know, nobody else knows. So never let anybody get in your way. Go to the Velvet Underground and stay there until you figure it out. So I'm back to the Velvet Underground, back to the floor that I love, back to a room with some lace and some paper flowers, back to the gypsy that I was.